Hello and welcome to The Print. We have with us Chief of the All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin, Assuddin Owaisi, who is also the MP from Hyderabad. He has taken out time from his hectic schedule, considering today is the last day of campaigning. Welcome to The Print, Owaisi ji. We also have our political editor, DK Singh. Well, to begin with, how is election shaping up? Last day of campaigning, what do you have to say?
One should understand how MIM works. We don't start an election campaign only for election. So the way we work is that in our office, which is called Darussalam, our MLAs, municipal corporators, including myself, MLCs, we sit there six days a week, nearly for 4-5 hours every day, meet people, solve their problems. That has really helped us in the past. It will help us also in the present now. So, and then we have our weekly visits to the constituency. We hold public meetings at least thrice a month. So that accessibility and the communication is always there with the electorate of Hyderabad. And over and above that, of course, election campaigning has gone very well. I'm really thankful to my party members, my MLAs, my corporators, who did all this Padayatra in this severe heat, which we have never faced in Hyderabad, 44, 45 degrees. So far it has been very good, and we hope that the turnout, the voting percentage will increase. And we have tried to rectify our mistakes in one particular assembly constituency where 4 months ago we did win, but with a lesser majority. So hopefully all this thing will really help us in ensuring that we win this seat by a good margin of votes.
You are pitted against BJP's Madhvi Lata. What's your assessment of her? We have seen that there have been many controversies surrounding her, especially comments made in her campaigning, and at the same time her own campaign house has been.
So BJP as a party, we always fight against BJP, the party, the political party. In last 40 years, apart from the first election of 84, so from 89 parliament elections, then 91, then 96, 98, 99, 2004, 9, 2014 and 19, BJP has been one of the main opponents in the Hyderabad parliament constituency. And BJP had given had very strong grassroots level leaders, Badamba Reddy, led Badamba Reddy, who was an MLA also. Then Venkaiah Naidu in 1996. Then there was this Deputy Mayor Subhash Chandraji, very popular person of Saidabad area. And then Mr. Bhagwan, who heads the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. So BJP, it's always with BJP, candidates come and go. So we don't concentrate much on candidates. It is the BJP we have to focus on what BJP or Congress or BRS does. So candidates come and go, that's not a different thing. But to say that, the media hype is so much about this particular candidate. But people forget that Mr. Venkaiah Naidu was a more stronger candidate in 1996. And he happened to be an MLA also in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh. So, yes, this BJP candidate did a provocative act of throwing an imaginary spear towards a masjid in that rally.
And she clarified it later.
Well, clarification was given after a criminal case was booked against the candidate. And then her utterances on hijab, her statements that we will remove the Central Waqf Act and take all the Waqf lands. So this is going on, but this particular candidate was not even a member of BJP. But we have been consistently following her activities from last 4-5 months. We knew 4 or 5 months ago that something is brewing up, so we know what was happening.
Let me take you beyond Hyderabad. What is there for Assaduddin Owaisi in this Lok Sabha election? For the opposition, it's about, as they say, it's about saving the constitution, the democracy. For Prime Minister Modi, it started with his guarantees to, started with Ram Janmabhoomi, Ram temple in Ayodhya, to basically his guarantees. Now he is shifting to this issue of reservation for Muslims. Like it seems like his message is, give me a mandate to stop the opposition parties from giving reservation to Muslims or snatching others' quota to give it to Muslims. What's
Well,
there for you?
Well, if you what you just mentioned about the non-BJP so-called secular parties and a complete right-wing Hindutva ideology party like BJP, where is the in this two political fronts which we have, one thing is common between them. That is, they don't talk about the political representations of the Muslim community. They don't talk about empowerment of the Muslim community. Now, if you talk about saving constitution, doesn't the constitution talks about equality? Doesn't the constitution talks about Article 29, 30, freedom of religion? And then the amount of Muslim candidates you have given by this alliance partners. Maharashtra, 48 Lok Sabha seats, no Muslim candidate. Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Delhi, there are 11, 12 states where this, whatever it is called, India Alliance, have not given a Muslim candidate. Mr. Modi is very clear in his guarantee that he will marginalize or invisibilize the Muslim community from Indian politics, which he has done. My question is, how do you make an inclusive India if you don't even give tickets to Muslims? So what is there for the Muslim community? Yes, we want to save the constitution. We want to get rid of this right-wing Hindutva government, which has hurted the Muslims more. Whose house have been demolished? Who has been mob lynched in the name of meat? Who has been killed in encounters or injured in encounters? And whose dignity is at stake? Dharam Sansads openly give a call to rape Muslim women. These political parties don't realize that. It is the Muslim community who has faced this heat, this threat. In fact, these Congress party had supported BJP in making the UAP Act more draconian. And who's behind bars? Who's languishing in jail for 3 to 4 years? You know, you talk about saving constitution. Arvind Kejriwal supported BJP in this unconstitutional way of removing 370. He's your partner. So what is this? This is, I mean, you want to save India, save constitution, fine, but what is this whole group? Uddhav Thackeray, he is the new secular poster boy. Mr. Modi also, now he talks about लॉक पड़ जाएगा मंदिर के ऊपर. भाई 86 में तो आप और कांग्रेस ने लॉक खोल दिया था ना, बगैर मुस्लिम पक्ष को सुने. अब वो ही बोल रहे हैं फिर मंगलसूत्र निकाल कर हिंदू बहनों से मुसलमान दिया जाएगा. तो हम इतने गए गुजरे तो नहीं है भारत के मुसलमान के किसी गले से निकलेंगे मंगलसूत्र को ले लेंगे, अपने जेब में डाल लेंगे. 15 लाख नहीं दिए तो मंगलसूत्र देने का वादा कर रहे मोदी जी. और वो नहीं बोल रहे कि जो in 5 years RBI data says, which your print carried this article, that in 5 years Indian women have mortgaged gold in banks and took 1 lakh crore loan. Where is Nari Shakti over here? So these are the things. Where do I fit in? You know, I am trying my level best to ensure that the marginalized section, the Dalit or Muslims, they have their political leadership, their own political leadership. On paper, it looks easy, but I know theoretically I have to work hard more. But we want to increase the political representation in the Lok Sabha of the Muslim community. What is wrong in that? When our forefathers of our country dreamt about a representative form of democracy, right now we are seeing a majoritarian form of democracy. It is not a representative form of democracy. Mr. Modi can and Mr. Amit Shah can go and apologize to the Rajputs of Gujarat because of that utterances made by Mr. Rupala. But Muslims as a community have to just sit back and take all this nonsense emanating from the speeches of Mr. Modi that we are Ghuspaiti, Muslim women give birth to more children, we are jihadi, and no one talks about it. So as a community, we should learn from how the Rajput community has reacted. From Gujarat to Rajasthan to Uttar Pradesh, they are upset. They are really upset. But here the Muslim community, what is their issue? नहीं जिंदगी मौत कब बचाना है हमारे. See, the level of priorities have changed. That is what we are trying to address.
What do you mean when you say Muslims have to react the way the Rajputs have reacted?
Because, see, they are lesser in number than the Muslim community, but they are united when it comes to self-esteem, when it comes to someone talking in an undignified way about them. And here in last 5 years, Mr. Modi has spoken from 1200 साल की गुलामी के बाद सत्ता मिली, his first parliament speech, to इनके कपड़े देखकर पहचानो, खबरस्तान, शमशान, to now his various speeches he is giving. Amit Shah saying that for 40 years, Razakars are controlling Hyderabad. Mr. Modi saying that BRS and Congress have given Hyderabad on lease to MIM. I mean, are we some cattle? People of Hyderabad are cattle. We are not equal citizens of this country to elect whoever we want. And no one talks about this. And then Priyanka Vadra comes to Hyderabad and says, Owaisi is a B team. So this is what is happening. So issue is that both these political fronts, one is a complete right-wing Hindutva, other is trying to follow in the footsteps of Mr. Modi because he has created that template. So both of them either want, I should be submissive to them, I should lose my political identity and stand there as an innocent bystander and clapping them. That will not happen. I cannot do that. I have my own political party. I represent a political party and will continue to oppose them. And I feel that we will strengthen the Indian democracy by doing what our party is doing.
But then the fact that you are getting increasingly isolated even among the opposition bloc. You can deal with Congress, you are talking about Priyanka, you cannot deal with Akhilesh, you cannot deal with Mamata Banerjee. With that isolation, how will you kind of expand your reach and the kind of influence you want to wield to make the changes?
No, we Alhamdulillah, we have a lot of influence. We have influence to that level wherein we can win or we can make someone lose. That in itself is a good influence. Now, if they don't want an alliance, Imtiaz Jalil, my Maharashtra president and MP of Aurangabad, he thrice made a statement when the media asked him, why don't you join? I said, okay, we are ready, tell them to speak to us. So if they don't want to talk to us or take us on board, it's not the end of the world for us. The skies are not going to fall on my head. We'll continue to, with our journey, we'll continue to fight elections. We'll be losing some, we'll be winning some. Now we'll be winning the Kishanganj seat. I have went and campaigned for Akhtar Iman. That will be a huge victory, inshallah. Imtiaz will definitely retain his Aurangabad seat. So we'll continue.
What if Rahul Gandhi comes to you that Arshad bhai, let bygones be bygones, let's be friends again?
How can I answer this on this question? Either you must be speaking on behalf of Rahul Gandhi then. I don't know.
It's a hypothetical question. Like if they come to you.
How can I speculate? I don't know Rahul Gandhi. I don't know Rahul Gandhi.
You have been in the Lok Sabha with him.
No. When I say I don't know him on that level that he will say that. I don't know. Maybe if he says, I can answer on that. But right now, why should I answer on it?
Did he ever talk to you?
No.
You were in the Lok Sabha with him for 10 years?
Yeah, but there are 543 members, DK. You think that we'll be chit-chatting with each and every one? It's a big parliament, 543 members are there. And big leaders always tend to be with their big group.
But two big anti-Modi faces. Never coming to two big anti-Modi faces.
No. I have never, sat down and talked to him. He has his own. He's very busy, a very busy person. बहुत ज़्यादा उनको मेहनत करते रहते हैं, चलते रहते हैं, हमारा काम हो रहा है.
I think you're talking about, the Indie Alliance not fielding candidates. As you said, no candidates in Maharashtra, not in a dozen other states. Why is it happening? Are they scared that they would be painted as...
To be honest, I cannot speak for themselves, but when I see them talk about inclusive India, when I see them talking about how Constitution has to be saved, when I see them talking about secularism will be weakened, when they say that next time around there will be no elections, where does this 14% Muslim fit in? Please tell me. It's 17 crore, isn't it? It's not a small number. Where do you fit them in? I mean, where do you fit? They should tell us, okay, fine, everything's good, but where are your Muslim faces? So that is why I feel that they have see, earlier it was कि नहीं आपको ticket हम कम देंगे, we'll give you lesser tickets. But now they're openly saying, if we give you a ticket, the other vote will not come to us. What is the other vote? It is the majority community vote, which is completely wrong. I disagree with that statement. There are still enough secular Hindus in this country, including Dalits, OBCs, who are willing to vote Cutting Gaura's party candidate. But you are not at all convinced with yourself. You don't want to give any of them. And how can you not give one Muslim candidate in Maharashtra, please tell me? And look at this joke. You don't give any Muslim candidate, but you have a candidate against Imtiaz Jalil. So what kind of secularism are you practicing? And then you put a Muslim candidate against me. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, oh, this is vote B team, that team. I'm saying, okay, fine, I'm ready up. We'll fight. But people are seeing all these things. People are seeing. When Priyanka Vadra says that, OICG helps BJP. I have made this statement. I said, how did your brother lose in Amethi? I was not there. You contested 400 odd assembly seats. You won only one assembly seat. Please enlighten what happened over there. You talked about my ladki hu, nothing worked. See, you're a national party. I'm a small party from Hyderabad, whatever names are given to me. How can you not give in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Delhi? So a message has been sent to the Muslim community by these secular parties. You are only what I call a band baje ki party. Muslims are only band baja. So when the bride and the bridegroom, comes to the marriage hall, you have this band party. So the groom enters, the band baja party are never allowed inside the venue of that place where the marriage is held. Bahar thehriye. वो हमारा हाल करके रख दी. This is what is happening. And you have some faces as show boys, just to show we have this Muslim face. But what is their utility? What is their influence in your own party? That man himself has to struggle to get a chair on a dais to sit with their top leaders. भाई मेरे को कम से कम they have told me हमारी कोशिश ये होती है भाई कि हमको फ्रंट रो पे मिल जाए. मैं बोलता यार तुम क्या कर रहे? What Achilles does, दरी बिछाओ, भैया पे जवानी कुर्बान करो. क्या होगा भाई उससे? So there is a realization in the Muslim youth that we will have to really change this. We cannot keep on voting for what they say. We'll have to, start taking votes also. And it is going to change. I'm telling you, this change will happen.
But in the last few elections we have seen, from Karnataka Assembly election onwards, we see the Muslims rallying behind the Congress.
Where is this? There is no option, na? There is no option. If you have a viable option, and you see, if one is going and voting, is he voting in great excitement or in hope? They are only voting by lesser of two evils, I will vote for them. But are you creating a hope in them? Are you giving them a message that we will do this for you? Take the example of Karnataka. What have you done to introduce reservation for Muslims? BJP removed it. Very soon, academic year is going to start. You cannot even pass a law on hijab. That is what I'm saying. Why don't you do it? What is stopping you from doing this? Or you tell the Muslim community, you only have to just come out on polling day and vote for us, and remaining just forget about anything. At least say that. अब वो भी नहीं बोलेंगे. How can you tell me, we'll make you chairman of Urdu Academy, Waqf board? Even BJP is doing that. So where is the real empowerment that is happening? Everyone wants a empowered India. But how can India be empowered if you marginalize, if you make Muslims disappear from every sphere of political life?
There's a very noticeable trend. Of late, we don't really see the Muslims holding agitations or protests. Say, for instance, when this Supreme Court verdict came on Ram Janmabhoomi, there was widespread apprehension that there may be some backlash. Nothing happened. That apart.
No, but that is good. That was good. That was good for the country. Even when the Allahabad High Court judgment had come, law and order was maintained. There was a protest for CAA.
Yeah, I was coming to that. Yeah. So when the CAA, when the Parliament passed it, there was protest. When the rules were notified, when it actually came into force, there was not a whimper of protest anywhere. So how do we explain this growing silence, I would say, or if not indifference to the state of affairs?
No, there's a saying in Urdu, इस सन्नाटे की भी आवाज़ है जो भी सुनाई नहीं दे रही है लोगों को, सुनाई देगी. अभी सन्नाटा नजर आ रहा है मगर इस सन्नाटे की भी आवाज़ है. So this silence is a momentary silence. What shape it will take? I hope it takes a democratic shape. This is what I'm trying to do. But you cannot keep on suppressing a community under various ways and methods. It will not work.
This Sannate ki awaaz, am I wrong in interpreting it as a lull before the storm?
No. Maybe it will create an awareness. Maybe it will create more, more political leaders who will say enough is enough. These people cannot do anything for us. The other party is hell bent on taking everything. So hopefully this will lead to a positive change in the mindset, because right now, everyone says Asaduddin Owaisi gives a good speech. Talks about the communities, are good leader, अच्छा leader है. But when it comes to vote, क्या करेंगे अभी? What can we do? So that will change. People will say, we will not vote on the old original lines anymore.
There's a fierce debate which has also started on, how the Muslim population has increased by, over 7% from 1915 to 2015, while, the majority population, the Hindu population has decreased by over 43%. And now this has become a major issue which, the BJP has also been talking about it. How do you respond to that?
I mean, first of all, that honorable scholar has been accused of plagiarism, number one. That honorable scholar working in Prime Minister Economic Advisory Council, your viewers should know, she is the daughter of the governor of Tamil Nadu. Thirdly, that honorable scholar should have said that even the Hindu population increased 70 crores. The Muslim population increased 7 crores. The honorable scholar should have said in our paper that the population decadal growth is there, it has come down. And she is quoting figures of the census 2011. But the 2019-21 National Family Health Survey are the latest, empirical evidence that the TFR rate of any religious community which has fallen down are the Muslim community. So, you issue this paper and have debates done in Doordarshan, number one. Then all channels start doing it. The whole idea is to send out a message to the Hindu community. Oh, look how Muslim population has jumped. But Hindu population also has increased 70 crores. That Muslims will overtake the Hindu community in population to create this fear mongering, to create suspicion. Oh, they will occupy everything. Experts have said this, that the Hindu population will stabilize in 2074 at 78.79%, if I'm not wrong. And by 2101, the Muslim population is stabilized at 18%. And Muslim population will never outgrow the Hindu population.
But it's already been, across
See?
WhatsApp, it's being
Yeah,
forwarded.
yeah,
How do
yeah.
you counter that?
No. I have countered it. I have been, in fact, since Mr. Narendra Modi's speech, कि ये बच्चे बहुत पैदा करते हैं, our political antenna went up. We knew something is brewing up, and I started speaking on this, giving out data. How I also said that the spacing is more in Muslims. In fact, I in my public speech I said that the government of India says that the highest number of condom use is of Muslim men. People started laughing at me. अरे क्या बोल रहे हैं आप क्यों? अरे भाई this is data. What is छुपाने का क्या है इसमें? Government का data. But I knew something when Mr. Modi said this, that this something is going to come. Paper आ गया, and now they issue a statement. Please don't misuse it. और क्या मजाक? What joke is this? You jump into this to corroborate what Prime Minister is saying, and then you issue a clarification. Please don't misuse it. So they are doing. They're also.
Do you think the timing is a suspect? The fact that it has
Of
come
course,
now?
it's not timing. It is properly timed that Mr. Modi will say this nonsense, and this lie will be backed up by this paper. Why don't you say that the 2011 census says that Muslim population has come down? Yes, increase is there. 7-8.
Rate of growth has come down.
The rate of growth has come down. Population 7 crore has increased. Hindu population increased to 70 crores. Why are you not saying this? So when experts countered them and exposed that honorable scholar, then they issue a clarification. But they serve their purpose, because when once Doordarshan does this program, 2-3 programs on this, and then you have these motor mouths in BJP who said Musliman बच्चे बहुत पैदा कर रहे हैं. अरे why don't you say that Narendra Modi has 6 brothers, Amit Shah has six sisters, Gulwalkar father and his wife gave birth to 11 children. Why don't you talk about this? And the most important point which Mr. BJP and Modi is not talking about, this advantage which we have of the youth population, 60% of the population under the age of 40. This demographic dividend will not last. What are we doing to give them an opportunity so that India really becomes a stronger country? You are giving 80 crore लोगों को राशन दे रहे, अरे वो राशन will be really empower India. ठीक है, फायदा हो रहा है गरीबों को. But what about employment for them? This is a huge asset to India, which Mr. Modi has completely, destroying it, or not using it properly.
What is the larger issue here is, see, in 2014, we saw the debate was different. In 2019, it was different. Why are the Muslims at the center of the electoral debate in 2024? We didn't see it in 2014 or 19.
In 2014 also it was there.
Not to that scale.
No,
it was
it was there. It was there. Every election it is there.
But terms like vote jihad.
No, I'll explain. Let me explain to you. From 17 Lok Sabha elections have been held. This is my 5th Lok Sabha election. I have seen I have seen the 96, 98, 99 election also. I have seen 8 Lok Sabha elections. Show me one election wherein these so-called secular parties have not come to the Muslim community and said कि आपकी जान को खतरा है. I'm telling you honestly, आपकी जान को खतरा है. देखिए, हाँ?
बीजेपी से.
जब बीजेपी पावरफुल नहीं थी तो अभी आरएसएस से है, होगा, बिल्कुल है. My question is, when you say this, what do you do afterwards? Have you done any development? Have you taken up something which has really uplifted? What is the intergenerational mobility of the Muslims? We are the lowest. There is a generational mobility of Dalits, Adivasis, Hindu upper caste, Hindu backward class, but Muslims are there at lowest. So every election that has been happening, it didn't start in 2014. I might be criticized over देखो ये बोल रहा है ऐसा, but the fact it has increased more after 2014. Mr. Modi has taken it to a next level.
But his motto is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas.
Well, that's all rubbish, nonsense. He doesn't believe in it. सब बकवास है, झूठ बोलते हैं. What is सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका whatever he says? When you cut down on the minority budget, the whole world knows that the Muslim dropout rate starts from class 4, 5 onwards. Mr. Modi deliberately did it, said that this government will give pre-matric scholarship to class 9. You have reduced that budget also. You have closed down Maulana Azad Foundation. Why? Because many Muslims were getting
Scholarship.
No. They were doing MPhil and PhD. You have closed that. Within the minority ministry is a program called MSDP program. Please check. In that program, there's a provision to construct girls' hostel for minorities, girls' ITI, schools. Nothing is happening. What kind of Vikshit Bharat
But
is?
he is saying when we give
Yeah,
allocations
what-
for houses,
No,
we don't discriminate.
No, my simple answer is I have filed many RT applications when it comes to that giving of houses. Answer I got was, we don't maintain this data. So how the hell are you saying that we are giving to Muslims? I have filed in UP. Please give me that data. I want to know how many Muslims have got houses. You can say, no, वहाँ 10 दिया. भाई आप डेटा दो ना हमको बताइए, हम देखना चाह रहे हैं. Please tell us. That is your program, but what about the ministry which is there? A minister is there. You had promised that those 260 crores which will be removed for Hajj subsidy will be given to minority Muslim girls. That is gone in the air. It is not there. I can go on and give you so many examples. You don't do it at all. And then you don't even give one Muslim ticket. And then you say, Pasmanda Musalman. Yes, we are for Pasmanda Musalman. I went to Banaras. I spoke to all those bunkars or Ansaris. You know what they told me? An electric meter, if it is in the name of their late father, is not changed in the son's or daughter's name. What has Mr. Modi done in Banaras? Please tell me. Own bunkers are in trouble over there. Wherever Modi goes, he presents that silk sari Banaras. But have you made those workers, any of them are Seths over there? They're not owners. But you talk about Pasmanda Musalman. Huh? And then you kill Atiq Ahmed. He was a Pasmanda Musalman. He was killed, assassinated. Bulldozers.
But why are you saying you kill Atiq Ahmed?
No, I'm saying not you as such, but
No,
the
he means
assassination. The assassination happened.
No, are you raising some...
No, I'm not raising. I'm saying he was killed by assassins. And the whole farce was done in front on live camera. And Atiq was a convicted prisoner in judicial custody, in handcuffs, surrounded by 8 to 10 policemen having automatic weapons. And anyway, Atiq was an OBC. Bulldozers demolishing houses, all those houses, people are OBC.
But what is the one thing that has set people thinking, in fact, somebody like you, when you start defending gangsters, forget about the way they were killed, but the fact is they were gangsters. I mean, can you afford to defend them?
Don't gangsters have right to life as a fundamental right? And how come other gangsters have right to life who don't happen to be Muslims? There are other gangsters who are patronized by BJP also. I didn't do that. I definitely went to Mukhtar Ansari's house and offered my condolences to his young son, a brilliant guy called Umar. But he has right to life. And it's surprisingly and shocking to me, see, I'm not a doctor, but the limited knowledge which all of us have, if you put a patient in ICU from jail, you don't take him back after a few hours to jail. He has to at least go into a common room, a common hospital room. Huh? And that family, he himself had given a petition Supreme Court that there's a threat to his life. So it is very good to ask Asauddin Owaisi. But what about the other dreaded gangsters who are there in different political parties who don't happen to have a Muslim name?
Like?
There are many. There are many who are facing rape charges, but they are there. Bihar, a dreaded gangster gets married inside the prison and gets his wife the ticket. That is fine. I am only worried about he was killed in a judicial custody.
So you are saying Hindu gangsters are getting protection?
No,
or
I am saying that to say and ask Asauddin Owaisi, not you can have the right to ask me, but what about the other gangsters? There are many gangsters. Mukhtar Ansari, yes, he was convicted. He was in judicial custody. His family has said that he was given a slow poison. We went there. What is wrong in that? But there are other innumerable number of cases against various people who are comfortably sitting. And you see, when you say that dreaded gangster, the thousands of people who attended his funeral rites, majority of them were non-Muslims. I hopefully, if I live my full life, and if I'm not killed or whatever happens to me, I want to see if the other gangsters, when they die, how many people will come for their funeral rites. I want to see that. The world will see.
you were talking something which just reminded me of the old incident when you were attacked. You were fired at.
Yeah.
UP. What happened in that case? I mean,
So in that case, they were arrested, and within 4-5 months, they got bail. So I, as a person, have to go to Supreme Court to cancel their bail. Then the Honorable Supreme Court cancelled their bail. So now I think now some 7-8 days ago, again, High Court has given them the bail. The trial is going on.
who were these individuals? I mean, were there some larger?
Oh yes, they're all. It's a larger group. It's a bigger group, and this renowned Monu Darling is also part of their group. And my suspicion, I cannot give more evidence, but my suspicion is that even the people who kill Atiq are also part of this group. Because the way they were handling that weapon, these are all professional people, they are all radicalized people. But Mr. Modi does not want to address that radicalization. Mr. Amit Shah is not worried about that radicalization.
How are they radicalized? I mean, the people who attacked you, what was the motivation behind this? Behind this attack?
So they had formed an opinion that Asauddin Owaisi is a threat to the country. And he should be killed. Why have become a threat? Because he talks about Muslims. He talks about Babri Masjid. These are all statements which I have given to the police. In the FIR it is there. And then the best part is that there is a photograph I'll show you sometime. While campaigning, I had stopped in one place to have some coffee. In fact, I am giving one coffee to this my would-be assassin. Arey, tum bhi pee lo coffee. When there are 10-15 people, you don't drink or eat alone, I said, please take. That photo is also there. And he said, we followed him. So these are all radicalized people, which unfortunately Mr. Narendra Modi is not addressing. These are all radicalized people. See, if they start this, what goes around comes around also.
You also mentioned secular majority, right? Are you getting the support of them as
Yes.
Hindus here in Hyderabad?
Yes. In a good number of non-Muslim people are going to vote for me, inshallah. Yesterday, I went to Mr. Mishraji house in a place called Gyan Bagh, where the BJP MLA is there. And he said, you have to come. I said, I'll come. But when I went there were some 40-50 important people. And I was really surprised. I said, आप लोग तो BJP को वोट डालने वाले हैं. बोले नहीं, अब के बार आपको डालेंगे वोट.
And why the change? Why the shift?
Because the concerned MLA is not working hard, is not accessible. And then the work which we have done in last 5 years, the people come and meet us. We don't even know who they are. We do their work, and they're openly saying a small right-wing TV Telugu channel went there and started recording two Hindu women, and they said, yes, we have a BJP corporator. He will come and garland us, but he will not do our work. So this reporter asked, who does your work? Say, we call MIM party. They do all our work. And who do you vote? No, we'll vote for Asaduddin Owaisi.
But when we talk about Asaduddin or when we talk about AIMIM, the identity that sort of gets linked is that of Muslims. So how do you sort of break that? How do you reach out to other?
No, but why do you link me with Muslim? What about
no?
that?
I mean that's the perception.
I'm not saying you. I say you. What about Narendra Modi? See, my argument is that when you come to Hyderabad, Muslim Bahul Ilaka, what is Banaras? What is Gandhinagar? What is Amethi? What is Raebareli? These terms are not used. And on come 13th, the only visuals which everyone will see on TV is that, huge line of burqa-clad women are standing. Oh, why do you do it? There are certain people who have this mindset. So to link me with Muslims that I know will only not work for non-Muslim, completely wrong. I have told many people, please come to my office, sit there for half an hour. We'll serve you good Irani chai. And just sit there and notice what the work we do. If we meet 500, 600 people in a day, at least 200 people are non-Muslims. We do their work. People don't realize it, the work which we do. I have, through government, I have established 82 Basti Dawakhanas in my parliament constituency. 82. And majority of them are in non-Muslim areas.
So why I'm asking this is because in terms of your expansion or in terms of the expansion of the party, does it sort of like hamper this image that has been created?
No, it is not. It is not hampering our efforts. It is, we are progressing well. We have weaknesses in our organization. We have to overcome that. Maybe I will have to personally work more harder. And thirdly, we'll have to have good alliances on the ground. So these are three, four important things which we are trying to address. But it's not going to hamper.
How many seats are you contesting this time across India, and what is the expectation?
So in Maharashtra, Imtiaz Jalil is contesting. Inshallah, he will again. We have put up a candidate in Pune, one in Osmanabad. Hopefully, yes, we have one in Mumbai as well. In Bihar, I think 8 or 10. Akhtar Bhai would know very well. Jharkhand too. And in Uttar Pradesh, we are part of this alliance with Pallavi Patel, PDM. And the PDM will be putting up some candidates, and I'll be going and campaigning over there.
This BJP leader Navneet Rana has once again said that we will give a befitting reply to those who work for Pakistan. Earlier she had made that statement about 15 seconds. Do you think this entire Pakistan rhetoric and all this becomes more shriller as elections progress?
In their excitement and in their hatred for Muslim community, to identify ourselves with, trying to identify ourselves with Pakistan. Number one, they are very weak in history. I don't blame them for their ignorance. That is how it is fed in their minds. Muslims have rejected Jinnah's two-nation theory. And the most important point which they are doing a great disservice is that equating India with Pakistan. Why do you do that? Why do you equate India with Pakistan? Pakistan is the country which cannot even manufacture a small scooty tire. Why do you equate Pakistan with India? Why don't you equate India with China, US, Germany? You're bringing India to Pakistan level. In your hatred for Muslims, at least don't demean the country. And why? So it goes on. Today is 10th of May. 10th of May. On this day, the War of Independence was started. Where was any RSS guy in this? Please tell us. It was started in Meerut, with all Hindus and Muslims coming together. Tantia Top. 70% of the soldiers were Hindus. Who was their leader? Bahadur Shah Zafar. Jhansi Ki Rani was leader. And you know how Jhansi Ki Rani started this war of independence? She went to a masjid and asked, who's the imam? This was imam. Give a khutbah that aaj se baghawat hogi. Where were all these fellows? They were not to be seen. This place, Hyderabad, people don't read the RSS. People don't know the history. There's a masjid called Makkah Masjid, the oldest and biggest masjid. Maulvi Ismail in Ramzan last Friday gave a sermon, and he took all the namazis to a British residency in a place called Sultan Bazar. He was the first prisoner to be sent to Kala Pani. And we know who was also sent to Kala Pani and who wrote 6 love letters to Britishers. Please leave me, leave me, leave me. I will be an honest subject of yours.
You've already answered it briefly, but you know, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, when she accuses you of being the B team of BJP, this is not the first time that we are hearing it. Why? Why, you know, these parties actually think that you try to split votes?
Priyanka Vadra has just entered politics.
I mean, she's one of them. But
yeah, no, she's just entered politics. Entitlement politics she does. Maybe she should go and ask her mother that why was I sent to meet Jagan Mohan Reddy in prison at the time of when Pranab Mukherjee was the presidential candidate. She should tell her staff to do some research. Why did Asaduddin Owaisi support you in the nuclear deal? Why did my party support your own party when there was a division in your party in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh when a no confidence motion was brought? Because your MLAs of Telangana were siding with KCR. Andhra MLAs were siding with Jagan Mohan Reddy. And then to call me this. So this is pure, arrogance. Oh, you're not with us. So it's like a George Bush theory. You are with us or with them. So where is the inclusive India? What is the proof you have? Please tell me. I am giving you examples of her being the leader of Congress party in Uttar Pradesh, where the Congress party billboards are only showing her photograph and you win only 1 seat. Why did you lose Amethi? And why did you win Wayanad? Should I say that the Hindu vote bank didn't vote for you and here the Muslim vote bank voted for you? So, this is what we are fighting, this mindset. No, you must come and be we are not your loyal subjects. This is a democracy. Feudalism has no place in India. People of India has made a chaiwala the prime minister. Whether he has sold chai or not, different thing. But he claims to have done it. So, if you say, no, आप हमारे खिलाफ खड़े हैं, खिलाफ खड़े रहेंगे. She should do some research. Tell her staff to do it for her. In 1977, Indira Gandhi had come to my party office. Why? Because Congress party wanted our party support. Mr. Shiv Shankar was contesting in a by-election in Secunderabad Parliament. She came to our office, and from that place she announced that Aligarh Muslim University will be a minority institute. She made that announcement from there. And then you say this thing. I said, it doesn't affect me at all. When it comes to my party, I'm very stubborn in it. I'll continue to do it. See, because you are not I'm not there because of your mercy or your throwing me some biscuits or here and that, We'll do our work. We are continuing to do it. You can say what you want, but the reply will come. They should be rest assured that anyone who speaks in this way will give a reply. I am not one of those persons who will look, "Arey, waise hai, wahan hai, bhai, main bara." I am also equal to you. I will not take this lies lying down.
Coming to the previous question, whenever there is this talk of national security or Pakistan, whenever BJP raises it, the opposition starts running for cover. So suddenly some old interview of Mani Shankar here resurfaces where he talks about, why India should talk to Pakistan, respect Pakistan because it's an atom bomb. And you see the entire Congress leadership basically apologizing and distancing themselves from that remark, from old
No,
remark.
the simple answer could have been yes, we are also a nuclear power. We are also nuclear power. What is wrong in that in saying? Why do you have to run? You're right. The simple answer is India also a nuclear power. India is a more stronger country than Pakistan. We are 5 trillion economy. We'll be having hopefully, Mr. Modi says, a permanent seat in Security Council. But we still lost that World Heritage election to Pakistan. Do you know that?
One last question from me, if Neelam,
Yeah.
if you have. You were constantly attacked by the BJP in the historical context of the role of the Razakars then. Have you revisited the thing and
No, there is no need for me to revisit. Why should I revisit? I was born in independent India. My party, which was my grandfather started, he changed the constitution of this party, made it according to the Constitution of India, got it registered in Election Commission of India. The Razakars who went to Pakistan, they went to Pakistan. We are Wafadars who have been consistently fighting, strengthening Indian democracy. We want our rightful share. And people who talk about Razakars and what happened at that time, they should go to Nehru Memorial. And if they give some money, 10 rupees or 20 rupees, they can get the report of Pandit Sundarlal, read that report, and then come and ask me. Read E.G. Nurani's book on destruction of Hyderabad. Who's stopping you? See, if someone makes a movie with all complete lies, sponsored by BJP, good luck to you. But all these movies have flopped, flopped so badly because people, what is this? So they keep on raising this question. I keep on answering in this way. And Hyderabad has a history. Hyderabad, and in fact, people don't talk about this. The longest armed struggle was done by the communist parties. Even after the amalgamation of Hyderabad state, the longest armed struggle was done by the communist party. No one talks about that. Why? Why do you talk about that? So BJP wants to make an issue out of everything without
but
knowing.
have you ever clarified that today the AIMIM or the party that your grandfather founded is well past those old memories where Razakars were supporting the Nizam and all that happened? Have you distanced yourself from what was done then?
The political office where we sit, Indira Gandhi came in that office. What more do you want? NTR came for an iftar party many times. Indian national flag is hoisted over there every year. So, I will not keep on clarifying to satisfy some stupid person's for his sadistic pleasure. And I don't need to clarify to get a good certificate for him that I am nationalist. I don't want it. I don't want a nationalist certificate. I don't want a secular certificate. Because these people have opened a notary shop. That only if you come to them and you say, yes, I bow down to you. Will give you a certificate of loyalty. I don't want it. I go and contest elections. Even if I lose, those votes are a certificate for me. That is good enough for me.
Just another question, just last one. Among this,
Yeah, you're being a journalist
when you
now.
started, you said the so-called secular parties. Okay, so when these so-called secular parties are away from you, how difficult is it to be a lonely warrior for the kind of secularism you espouse?
No, this political journey has to be lonely. Great political leaders, stalwart statesmen like Kanshi Ram. There have been many leaders who started this journey, and we are also continuing. So it doesn't matter to me. See, as long as you know what you're doing is right, ups and downs will happen. This Urdu mein word hai, nasheeb o faraz, It doesn't matter. We'll have to, see, as long as I am alive, we'll continue to struggle, strive, work hard. We will have to face these allegations. I'm not going to lose my sleep on it. I'll reply it back immediately. The good thing is that I don't keep it. I said, give it back to me. I tell my people, foreign jawab do. Instead of, thinking, whatever you think, jawab do, within, don't create a communal reply. But jawab do, we do that. So, good. So, the youth now is realizing that it is not going to work. I hope Mr. Modi loses. I hope, inshallah. And if someone comes up, we'll even support them. But what if the people of India decide opposite? Who will you blame? Please tell me. Will this same question be asked to all these political parties? That is an important point which they will have to answer. You have, in Maharashtra, you have two nationalist parties, two Shiv Senas. One is Shiv Sena, is secular. See, this is really, sometimes when you sit down and think, kya ho raha hai yaar, mazak ho raha hai. But anyway, tamasha ho raha hai, so we are all watching it. Magic show, basically, this is magic show.
You're saying, inshallah, I hope Modi loses. But who wins?
Huh?
From the other side?
People of India will win. It is the poor people who will win.
So who is the
Because 21 people in India have more wealth than 70 crore Indians. 21 people in India have more wealth than 70 crore people have wealth. Mr. Modi, in 10 years, 6,000 crore loans have been given to his friends. India will win, inshallah. Or when I say the people of India will win, let me not say India. Otherwise,
let me ask Mr. Owaisi, a panel of 3 names who can replace Mr. Modi if he loses, from the other side.
Why do you underestimate the other 100 people who are there? Why only 3? Why only 3? See, this is the problem. Why only 3? And why not my name also? I don't want it. So why not? So why do you say only these 3 are good enough? Why not me? And I'm trying to give a reply to you. I don't want it. But to say 3, why? Anyone can emerge. And believe me, there's enough talent in our country.
You find all these parties so-called secular, as you say. So what would be the Prime Minister of your dream? Who would be...
Let
Your dream PM.
See, let the results come out. We have given a call in Telangana, Hyderabad mein Patang, Telangana mein BJP khatam. Now, what happens on the day of results, we'll come to know.
Well, my last question to you. Low voter turnout has become a major issue. What is your reading assessment across India and especially Telangana? And why do you think this voter turnout has been on the lower side?
So, this is an urban phenomenon. In rural areas, people have that excitement. But unfortunately, in this 3 phases, even that has come down. Urban phenomena is that I feel that we are not able to really inspire them, including me and every political parties. And secondly, there is a general, we don't want to go, we will take some rest. We'll go to some farmhouse, we'll go to a party. That is completely wrong. That we'll have to really inspire them, tell them to please come out and vote. Whether you like me or not, please come out and vote. And thirdly, what I'm more worried is the first time voters. They don't have this great desire to come out and vote. They don't. So maybe we'll have to involve them more in politics. Give them their rightful positions and share importance, whatever you call it. So this time around, hopefully, I'm sure that in Hyderabad, Secunderabad, these are urban constituencies, the polling percentage will increase. Fingers crossed, the IMD prediction is that it will be 36 degrees. So they don't have an excuse. It is not 44, 43. So yes, it is a great problem. And I don't know how to overcome it, but we're trying each and every ways and methods of telling people that please come out and vote. Another important point is that the ECI has a responsibility. Now, in my constituency, the ECI has majority of my polling booths are critical, sensitive. Now, why don't you review it for God's sake? In 16, 17 years, there has been no communal incident. Even normal life, there has been no, communal incidents or law and order problem has been there. Yes, some here and there, some incidents have happened, but you don't want to review it. Because of that, you have huge police presence. It looks as if some sort of a combing operation is being done for an Excel area. So it is Election Commission also responsibility. Now when you have cameras in each polling booth, so booth capturing has gone, right? So LECA also has to do something. And I don't know why they increased that age to 85. 75 would have been proper, 75 years. So only 85, only anyone 85, they'll come and take your vote. You should have done it 75. Because there are so many 75-year-old who cannot walk, who cannot, they are immobilized. But in assembly election, it was different age. In parliament, they have increased it.
So that I didn't know.
No, yes. In assembly, it was lesser.
Yeah.
In parliament, they have increased it. I mean, why? I don't know why. For me, I don't understand the rationale behind it.
But you mentioned ECI, many opposition parties have been critical of them, especially the advertisements that were posted by the BJP, which were seen as anti-minorities. They were taken down. But how do you see the role of the ECI as far as these elections are concerned?
See, for example, this Maharashtra MP had made that complete nonsensical and communal statement. Media people ask me, are you going to give a complaint? Why should I give a complaint when the whole country is being run by ECI? You can remove a DGP, you remove police officers. Why can't the EC take suo motu action? I'm really surprised. Oh, you have to give in writing. You do it now, you are running the country now. Till the results come out, it is the ECI who's monitoring each and everything. And the best part, you see, within the ECI observers, there's an election expenditure observer. There are two police observers also. What are they doing? They should take an action. And that vulgar video of Karnataka of eggs. Shockingly, the ECI writes a letter to Twitter, X. They say remove that video. What about the party who's created that? What about the party who's created that video? Yeah, these are very strange things are happening.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us and giving us your time, considering it's the last day of campaigning. This is Neelam Pandey and DK Singh reporting from Telangana, Hyderabad.